Welcome back to the channel, guys. Look at this. I got my hands on what they claim to be the world's first smart cargo e-bike. It's by Invanti. It's called the Tornado Pro. There's a lot to go over, so let's get into it. Currently, this bike is on Indiegogo, and I'm going to go ahead and send you a link to it. It'll be in the description below, so you can learn more about this bike and the specials that they have going on. Now, this is a Class 2 e-bike, but it can be unlocked to Class 3, which means it'll take us up to 25 miles an hour. We're going to do that with our half-twist throttle here on the right-hand side, your 3 levels of pedal assist, and a torque sensor. This bike weighs 83 pounds, but has a payload capacity of 440 pounds. They have 2 different versions. They have the Tornado 1, which doesn't have all the smart features in it. And then they have the Tornado Pro, which is what I have here, that has all the smart features. Now, if you want the Tornado 1, well, that's going to retail at $19.99, but they do have an early bird special if you get it on the Indiegogo platform for only $12.99. If you are looking at the Pro version, well, that's going to be $21.99, and you can get the early bird special for only $14.99. These bikes are going to start shipping out in the month of July. Now, the Tornado only comes in a step-through model, and it has a very low step-through. It's only 19 inches from here to the ground. They say that the average rider height is going to be between 4'11" to 6'3". It's going to come in 3 colors: cloud white, navy blue, and this grass green version that I have here. Now, I do want to point out that this bike doesn't come with all this stuff on it. I've been using it for like a month, but it won't come with the basket or the bags or the footboards or this front basket. You'll get it as it is, and then that way you can configure it to however you need and however you want to do this bike. Invanti claims that the Tornado will go 22 miles via throttle only, or 60 miles using pedal assist. You can get a second battery for this that clamps in right here. That will take you an additional 40 miles. The Tornado 1 has a 48 volt, 750 watt rear hub motor with a peak of 1000 watts and 80 Newton meters of torque. It has a 7-speed transmission with a Shimano tourney derailleur and the standard Shimano 7-speed thumb shifter. For stopping power, you have 2-piston hydraulic brakes and 180 millimeter rotors. The front forks are spring-loaded. You have 80 millimeters of travel. On my version, you can't adjust the preload, but you can lock them out. Your Tornado will come with 20 by 3-inch Chaoyang tires. They have a very nice street tread on them, and they're puncture resistant. The battery is in this down tube right here, and it is a 48 volt, 14.7 amp hours with 693.84 watt hours of power. You can also get an additional battery that fits right in here and connects to this port that will provide another 18 amp hours of power. Not only will this additional battery provide you with more distance, but it has a USB-C port, and it supports 5 volt, 9 volt, and 12 volt output. These batteries are made out of the Samsung cells, the 21700 cells, so you know that they are good. It does come with a 3 amp charger, making it to where you can charge this battery up in 5 hours. Now, you can do it while it's attached to the bike by just using this little port right here, or you can take the battery out and take it inside. To pull the battery out, it does come with 2 keys. You're just going to put it in the slot, turn it. It pops out just a little bit, and then you're going to flick this lever right here and pull the battery all the way out. This battery does have a power indicator right there to show you how much voltage and power this battery has. Put it back in, just bottom first, slap it in, and then when you click it, pull the key out, you're good to go. The Tornado and the Tornado Pro will both come with this large built-in carrying storage area. You can lock it up by setting a code. I haven't done that yet, but I want to show you how big it is. You just open this thing up, and you can put your hand all the way down in there. Right now I have like netting and strips or power things. Here's your directions on how to set the lock, but then you just zip it back up and keep your stuff in there. This device right here sets the Tornado 1 and the Tornado Pro apart. This is where all your high-speed technology comes into play. This alone would be enough for me to order the Tornado Pro. This thing right here is a lock. So you can use the app and you can lock this front wheel so that if somebody steals it, this will not turn at all and they can't go anywhere. Now, since I don't have any small children or put any passengers here on the back, I went ahead and set mine up for all the cargo stuff that I would use this bike for. I went ahead and added the footboards down here so that way when the panniers got put on, any weight that was in here would be rested on these footboards. This large rear basket on the back holds a lot of stuff, and we're going to see that because we're going to test it out. But here's what I really enjoy about these panniers. As you can see, you can't really open up the top because of the basket. But what you can do is you can unzip this side and put all kinds of stuff in there. It will come with a standard seat post, but you can opt and get this extra one here, which you can raise it up and down by just lifting this up. Oh, yeah. And then it's also a suspension seat post, so it will bounce and give you a little bit of suspension while riding. If you get the extra battery, it's going to fit in this slot right here and then plug in at the top. But if you don't, they have this bag that fits in here very nicely. So now you have a usable additional cargo space. This back rack area can hold up to 176 pounds. I finished my build by adding this front rack, and this front rack can hold up to 22 pounds. Additional features include plastic fenders, plastic pedals, a quick release seat post, and a padded seat. Let's talk about size and fit. Now, when it comes to this bike, there is no adjustable stem on here, but you do have these BMX style handlebars that you can move forward and back. With that, you have the seat area, and oh yeah, this is the dropper seat post, so let's drop that down. That's going to be for your shortest rider right there. And then if you are a tall rider, well, if you're using the suspension seat post here, this is the tallest setting right here. And if you have the stock seat post, well, it doesn't go up this high, but this has this suspension part in it, and that's why this one does, because let me show you. I'm 5'9" with a 32-inch inseam. This is what I look like sitting on the bike, and this is how the suspension seat post works. Cockpit Operations. On your left-hand side, it has a medium to hard grip. I've been using this grip and I like it. I like this kind of grip right here. I added this mirror here on the left, so that doesn't come with the bike. Here is your front brake lever right here, and then right here is your control panel. To turn this bike on, you're going to hold down the power button here in the middle until your screen lights up. Now, I know it is flickering on the screen. Trust me, it will not flicker in real life. The screen is very basic. This tells you what pedal assist level you're on. Here's your miles per hour, and this is your trip. If you hit that real quick, it's going to bounce from that through the odometer, average speed, max speed, your time on the bike, your calories burnt, and then how many watts. To go up in pedal assist levels, you're just going to hit the plus button, or to go all the way down, you hit your minus button. These buttons right here are your turn signals. If you hit that, it's going to turn your left one on, and if you hit that one, it's going to turn your right one on. But this pre-production model doesn't tell you anywhere or anyhow that your turn signals are going. I am hoping that the final model is going to show up on the display. This bike also has a walk assist feature. Once you take it all the way down to 0, if you hit the minus button, it's going to want to go forward on you, and there you go. To turn your headlight on, you're just going to hold this plus button until your headlight pops on. It's going to show up over here on your indicator. And then to turn it back off, you're just going to hold that plus button again until it shuts off. The headlight is your average e-bike headlight. It is not that big, and it seems to be decently bright. It also has an integrated taillight, and then when you hit the brakes, it lights up in the middle. A nice feature with the turn signal is even though I cannot see it on the display, these will automatically turn off within 15 blinks. To hop into the advanced menu, you're going to hold your plus and minus button down. Your first option is going to be to adjust the brightness of the light on the display. You hit it again, it takes you into your class area. This is where you go from a class 2 to a class 3. It should be here when you get the bike. Just hit the plus button and it'll put you into class 3 modes, taking you up to 25 miles an hour. Hit that power button real quick again, and it takes you into unit. This is where you change it from miles per hour to kilometers. And that is if you want to reset the bike. Now, I'm not sure if that's for trip. Let's go ahead and hit it. No, let's say yes. Close out of it by hitting the power button until it shuts off. I turn the bike back on, and now it shows that our trip mileage is 2.1 miles. Not sure why that's not at 0, but it isn't. Let's see if our odometer, yeah, our odometer is still 37. Underneath your display, you have a USB port. On your right-hand side, you have your half twist lever right here, your rear brake, and this is your shifter. To go down in gear, you're just gonna click it with your thumb, and then you're gonna hit this button to go up in gear. Let's talk about the app real quick. It is the fifth wheel app. You're gonna click on that. I've already attached the bike to it, but then you would attach your bike to it. And then when you click on that, this is going to give you information about your Tornado. This is the Pro version, so it's going to have more options than the normal Tornado wheel. This app is also being improved, but right now, I'm going to show you the only thing that I care about with this app. This right here. If you slide this over, it locks the bike, it locks the screen, and it locks that front wheel. Let's say somebody takes your bike and they cut it free from wherever. Look, it will not let the front tire move. Right? They can't steal this bike. It's not going anywhere because this electric lock right here keeps it from doing that. Right? And then also you would get movement notification if I had that set up. It would tell you that somebody is messing with your bike. Now, whenever I come back out, I just do this and the bike turns back on. I just unlocked it. Now, some of the other features that it has they're pretty interesting. You can adjust your head, you can turn your headlight on. You can adjust your pedal assist level, but that's just things that you don't really need. Screen brightness. Up here, you can control your settings, right, for your miles per hour. This says it has cruise. I haven't been able to get that to work yet, but that might be coming in the near future. Trip data. So it'll clear your trip data on shutdown. This is your vehicle information, right? Tells you what's different things about it. Another feature that it has is electric fence, and that is basically where you can set a perimeter that if any time your bike leaves that perimeter, you get notified. Battery management. And I don't know what they mean by payment accounts. So maybe I'm assuming that when they if they improve the app and it gets some kind of navigation type thing, that you'll be able to pay to use that. Right here, popped up a map for location service, and this is going to tell you where your bike is. Okay, so there are things with the app that they're going to be improving. That's why when you have a pre-production model, not everything is perfect. But like I said, I don't care. This is all I care about. That right there gives me so much security with this bike that I went to lunch the other day, didn't even chain it up. I just used the lock feature and it didn't move. I came back out, it was still there. I turned it back on and went on my way. Now, with the cargo bikes that I've reviewed before, what is a cargo bike if you don't put weight on it? And this is what I always use to put some weight in the back. These are 64 bottles of water. Each case is 44 pounds, so that is 88 pounds of weight right there. That way it's the same. I mean, that's what I use with all my other cargo bikes, because you got to test it out. What's the point of having a cargo bike if you don't have weight on it? And we will be doing some of our tests with the weight and without, so we can see the difference, like when it comes to the brake test or the hill climb. But everything else will be with this weight on the bike. And since we're adding weight on this thing, I might as well just throw my backpack here on the back, bungee it down. Let's get out on the road and test this bad boy out. Let's make sure that we're all in the right classes here. All right, I put it back into class 3. And I want to see if this reset for the mileage will work, because we had it at 2.1 after making the change. I'll turn this off, turn it back on. So it's stuck at 2.1 with trip miles. Like I said, this is a pre-production model, so they'll probably have that fixed. This way we know that whenever we start off, we're starting off with 2.1 miles on this trip today. And as always, we have Strava. So that's what we're going to be tracking our mileage with to see how it matches with the display. We currently have the bike in 0 pedal assist. As you can see, no power is going to the pedals. And I just wanted to see how fast you could ride with all this weight on the back. Well, we're doing about 8 miles an hour. We're in gear 4. It's doable, but definitely not something you would want to do for a long period of time. Now, you know what? With that being said, let's go ahead and set this thing into class 2. Now let's test the torque sensor on this bike. We have it in pedal assist number 1, have it in gear 4. We're just going to pedal it here at first to see, you know, in theory, since there's only 3 pedal assist levels, I should be able to get this bike up, you know, at 20 miles an hour if I wanted to. And I am able to climb with it. It's not the easiest with all this weight on it, but it does feel like I would definitely be able to do it. Let's try number 2. Oh yeah, way better. There we go. That should get me to the top speed of 20 miles an hour. No problem. And then number 3, that must be just for a big hill, because I don't feel like I would need number 3 most of the time. So we'll kick it back down into pedal assist number 2. And with that, you can either go slower or faster. So yeah, the torque sensor works. So now that we're in class 2, what we're going to do is we're going to test it out that way. We're going to put it into pedal assist 1. We're going to see if the throttle is dictated on these 3 levels of pedal assist as we take off. Oh, it picks up pretty good. Oh, we are going downhill a little bit, guys. Oh, but it is not. The throttle is not dictated for what pedal assist level you're in. And at the class 2 speeds, well, we're doing 20.6 miles an hour. So let's go ahead and test out the different pedal assist levels. And what we're doing is we're just going to see what we're comfortable at, like what speed are you comfortable at without really putting too much effort in it on the pedals. And a pedal assist number 1, we're just cruising at 12 miles an hour. Let's try pedal assist number 2. What feels comfortable with that? And you'll be cruising at 20 miles an hour with this class 2 setup at pedal assist number 2 with no issues at all. No need to even go to 3 because we can't go any faster. I just put it into class 3. We're going to double check to make sure that I don't think the throttle is connected to the pedal assist level in class 3. It should work like class 2, but let's find out. I'm just going to give her full throttle and go. And right here it is showing our top speed at 24.8 miles an hour. But it also looks like we have dropped a bar on the battery indicator. So it looks like we'll just be following. Okay, so the indicator went back up to 5 bars. It's going to be one of those ones where you put it under a lot of pressure, it's going to drop down, and then when you let off on it, it's going to come back up. Now let's go ahead and see what our pedal assist levels are in class 3 on how fast we're going. This will be pedal assist number 1. Sounds like my derailleur needs to be adjusted some. We'll get that done after this review. That and like my back brake is squeaky, which means I just didn't bed it correctly. In pedal assist number 1, using no throttle, you're just going to cruise at 11 miles an hour, 11 to 12. Let's go ahead and put it in number 2. Whoa, you felt it kick up then. All right, we're going to go up in gear. We're in gear 7. And comfortably, without really putting any effort into it, we're going to cruise at, 21 miles an hour? All right, let's see what happens with number 3. Number 3 should take us for a ride all the way up to 25 miles an hour, or that 24.7. Yeah, 25.1 is where it's going to lock out, unless we were going down a hill. As you can see, it started to jump up, but we're heading downhill a little bit. Either way, that is plenty fast, especially with this much weight on the bike. I will not be doing that speed a lot. Let's go ahead and check out the speedometer and see how that's working. Seems to be pretty accurate, so that's a good thing. At least we know that our speeds are correct. Let's see how fast it's going to take for us to go from 0 to 24.7 miles an hour via throttle. That's the fastest it shows it goes. I mean, it does pick up pretty well. Let's not forget, because I put my camera bag back there too. So we have 100 pounds worth of weight here on the back. And this thing still picks up really, I think it picks up at a relatively good speed. I barely feel the weight on the back of this bike. And it's going to take you about a half a minute just using throttle to get to that full speed. Let's find out how fast we can hit 25 miles an hour by just using pedal assist. I have it in pedal assist number 3. Let's go. Let's see how it does it. I do have the gears down into 4. So I put it down into 4th gear because I know we can just climb through the rates. I know we can hit 25 faster than going by throttle. Let's go. Woo, there we go. We didn't beat it by much though. I think for us having the amount of weight that we have on this bike, I think it's doing great. You do feel a pretty big difference when it comes to the assist that this gives you between 1 and 2. So I can tell that number 2 is going to be my happy place today. Number 2, gear 7, and that's how we're going to be probably doing most of this review. Now, one thing that I've noticed now, I've put like 30 something miles on this bike, so I have used it for some grocery runs and stuff like that. Haven't put this much weight on the back of it. But one thing I've noticed that when it comes to this and other cargo bikes that I reviewed, This cargo bike rides more like a bike than a cargo bike. Even with this amount of weight on it, like I don't feel where the front end is feeling light or anything. And that is definitely part of the design. Yeah, they do have a 20-inch wheel on the front, but this frame is kind of low. And then these BMX handlebars just kind of make up the difference. This, I can already tell, and I knew it, I mean, I've known it for a couple of weeks, that this is the best riding cargo bike that I have been on. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do our off-road part. Hopefully this guy, there we go. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh my gosh, hang on, we just hit something pretty bad. And I just felt stuff bounce up. Let me see if we're fine on the back. Oh, we are. Everything is still there. Oh, the water kind of came out a little bit. Hang on. This is not the kind of bike you want to take off-road. Get in there. Get in there. There we go. Oh gosh. Ah. So the off-road part, I think if you're going to be off-road, you're going to want to take it easy like this. You're just going to want to barely cruise through. I don't even know if I've done this with the other two cargo bikes that I have. Also not advised. I would say that this is not necessary at all. And I would not advise anyone to do it with a ton of weight on the back. Although if you had some kids, oh, they'd be rattling around back there. But they'd probably have a good time as long as you just keep it slow and steady like this. Oh yeah, you would, it's doable. Oh boy, here we go. Coming off the, oh, there we go. You know what, here's my philosophy. If I can make it up this hill with this weight on the back, I don't need to take the weight off. If it can do it like this, it can do it without it. So this hill test is gonna be weight only. Okay, it is time to do this hill climb. We have all the weight on the back. Let's go and see how it does, throttle only. Come on, baby, make it. Oh, this hill ranges between 15% incline to 20% incline. Like right now, we're hitting the steep part. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Yes, yes. It did it. I was hoping it would. I was a little bit concerned there for a second, but I mean, it's not the fastest hill climber, but guaranteed we have more weight on the back of this than any of the other bikes that I have reviewed. Now we are going to test it with the, I'm putting it in pedal assist level 3. I mean, with all this weight that I have on the back, we're just using that. We're not using throttle. So let's go and see how that works. Oh, come on, kick it. Oh, there it goes. It kicked in real quick. All right. Leg work. Come on. Pedal assist. All right. It seems to be a little bit harder than the throttle. I am preventing myself. I want to hit the throttle, but I am not doing it. But it is possible to make it up this way as well. Whew. That was a little leg work, but we were able to get it done. We're gonna do it one more time. I'm gonna use throttle and pedal assist. I wanna see if that's going to help me make it up the hill. So we'll do one more time. All right, here we go. We're using everything. Throttle, pedal assist. Oh, see, that's oh my gosh, there's a huge difference. Look at us just tearing up this hill. Okay, so now we know the trick, guys. Throttle and pedal assist, and you'll make it right up this hill. I'm glad I thought about doing that one. We have made it out here to Lakeshore Drive, which is one of my favorite places to go when I ride these bikes here in Chicago. Now it's showing that the battery power had dropped down to 3 bars. It went up a bar, but really if we take off, it's going to drop down to 3, which means in reality we've lost 2 bars of battery out of the 5 bars that we had total. Right now the display showing that we've gone 12.7 miles. We know we had 2.1 miles going before we started it. And Strava is showing that we're at 10.57. Now, normally from here, I would be doing the sand test, Not sure if we're going to do that with this bad boy because I don't see it doing anything but just sinking in the sand. But either way, we're going to ride around here for a little bit and enjoy the views. If you have never seen my reviews anymore, this is it. Like, this is the whole thing where I love to come down to, because I love this skyline here. We're right next to Lake Michigan, and the views from here are awesome. Now, I don't see us being able to spend much time on this trail. Actually, we need to turn around. It just dropped down to 2 bars, and I have way too much weight on here to get stuck riding this bike very long without power. So take it in. This is the closest I'm going to be able to get you for checking out the Chicago skyline. I mean, that's pretty close if you think about it. So we are going to turn around and start heading back. Even though we were out here for just a very hot second, I'm still glad I was able to make it to show you guys. Yeah, there's no way I would do a sand test with this bike. I would never make it back. The amount of power that would pull. Plus, with this additional weight, you don't want to put that bike on a sand. One of the deficiencies that I've noticed with this bike is, you know, they have all the bags and the racks and the different setups that you can have for this, but it doesn't have a bell. So I feel like any cargo bike, especially with all those options, should have a bell with it. Now, this is the pre-production model, so I don't know if it's going to have a bell with it, but I'll be putting one on this very, very soon. You don't have to be on Lakeshore Trail to find beautiful areas throughout Chicago. As you can see right here, this is a trail. We're right outside the Lincoln Park Zoo, and it has this nice, beautiful trail. It also has this cool art figure. And it's just always nice to see like these little spots of nature all throughout the city. We are down to 2 bars. I hope I have enough to make it home. We're only about 5 miles from the house at this point. And I might have already said this, but this bike is the best riding one with weight on the back. It doesn't even feel like I have weight on the back of this bike. And when you don't have weight on it, well, then you feel like you're just riding a normal bicycle, like a utility bike. The cargo bikes that I have that I reviewed, I mean, they're good, but this one, just by the way that it rides, is great. This has become my #1 cargo bike. You know, with this being the pre-production model, and it's this nice, well, the production models should be like super great, because you know that they'll be making improvements to this as it gets closer to production. And I know they'll be doing the updates on the apps. You should check out their Indiegogo page, and that'll show you all the stuff that the app is going to be able to do. And we have dropped down to 1 bar. We are about 3.3 miles from the house, and hopefully we have enough juice to get us there. Now, we've been cruising in pedal assist #2, so we're not using all of the power. So the range on this, you know, isn't going to be that great. But I mean, come on, guys, I have a lot of weight here on the back. And I hope that they send me that extender battery. And if they do, we'll just go out and do a distance test with that extender battery on there, because we'll already know from this review on how far we can go with the normal battery that's in the bike. I also saw that cruise control feature that was inside the app. Doesn't really look like that is working yet. If so, I'll do like a YouTube short or something like that, showing you some of the updates just in case I missed it in this initial review. We just made it to the end of the 606. We're going back on there as it shows that we have 1 bar left. So that means we're going to be getting close to running this battery out of all of the power, and that is the goal. Now, we still need to do a brake test on this bike, and I'm not going to have the power to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to run it through till the battery dies. I'm going to charge it up, and then we're going to do a brake test with it. And look right here, the battery bar is already flashing. So from here, I'm going to take it back home. Definitely don't want to get stuck with all this weight on the bike. And then as you can see, when I slow it down, then the bar shows up. So if we just do throttle only right now, it's just trying to get us up to speed. You can see that the battery bar is flashing. We'll go home, we'll check our mileage. I can't see it going much farther than what it is once I get home, due to the fact that I have all this weight on here. And we made it. Oh, you dog. And now because we stopped, it wants to go to 1 bar again. Guys, I just can't trust this thing, right? I figure if you had to, with this weight on here, you could probably get another couple of miles out of it, but I'm not gonna risk it. I'm still nursing this injured knee. All right, guys, we have recharged up the bike. We're going to go ahead and do this brake test and get this knocked out here real quick. Now, I do have all the weight on the back of this bike. I took my backpack off so it can keep my 360 camera from falling over because it's kind of windy. So the first goal is to get it up to 20 miles an hour, just in case you decide to keep it into class 2. And we stopped right at 21 feet. Now we're going to do it at 25 miles an hour. Let's crank this thing up. And then after this, we'll take the weight off. Oh, right at 30 feet. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Now we're going to try it in class 2 at 20 miles an hour with no weight on the back. Ooh, and it stopped real quick. It stopped right at 16 feet. And now we will do the last brake test here at 25 miles an hour with no weight on the back. Ooh, we came sliding in stylish. And what is this? Ooh, we're right at like 28.5 feet. This doesn't have 4 pistons, but it stops pretty well. Now that we have knocked that out, I can go ahead and give you guys my final thoughts. All right, guys, I have made it back, and I'm glad I was able to knock out that brake test before we did the final thoughts, because to me, that is always important when it comes to a bike, especially a cargo bike when you have load on it. Now, when it came to the mileage, well, Strava shows that we did 20.13 miles. If you look at the display on here, this shows 22.3, but we started off with 2.1 miles on the trip meter when we started. So they are basically the same. So I would think that if you're tracking the mileage on this bike, well, it is going to be correct when you compare that to Strava. Now, don't forget, there is an option to get an additional battery for this bike, and hopefully they will send it to me so I can do it. And if they do that, I'll go ahead and do another distance test with that extra battery on there, because I myself want to know how far this will go. This really didn't go that far, but I also had a ton of weight on the back, and I was putting it through a lot of abuse. Now, when it comes to this seat, this suspension seat post, for me, I'm going to put like a normal suspension seat post on there. This thing worked, but it was kind of chunky and it wasn't that smooth. But let's not forget, I have a prototype. And if I am choosing this prototype bike over the other cargo bikes that I have, then man, the production model is probably going to be excellent. I mean, overall, the seat felt nice. The grips felt great. There's something about this bike when you're riding it with weight on it that it doesn't feel like it's a cargo bike. And when you're riding it without weight on it, it just feels like you're riding a normal bike. And that has to be on how they designed this frame. I mean, even though it does have that 20-inch tire here on the front, it doesn't have a long stem, or it doesn't have a huge tire on the front, meaning that this weight, when you put weight on the back, it doesn't get forced to the back of the bike. It just seems to be like level and centered. And because of that, well, that is going to make my first choice for any cargo bike that I ride. I'm going to suggest that you take a look at the Indiegogo page, and it'll talk more about the app, because if you remember, the only feature that I care about with this app is that auto locking hub. And when you turn the bike into lock mode and that hub locks, I've never been more secure about a bike in my life. Like, I went to lunch the other day, I just locked it. I didn't even lock it up, and I knew it was still going to be here when I got back. Now, if you are interested in the Invanti Tornado or the Tornado Pro, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below. It's going to take you to their Indiegogo page, and you can learn more about this bike. So, I mean, there are a lot of huge, great features when it comes to this bike, and I'm so glad I have it. And if you get the production model, I mean, it can only be better than this. So I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank Invanti for sending this to me. And you know what? Until I see you again, enjoy the ride.